Now, do you have any questions before we continue? Let me ask. Now, moving on to the next example. HTML email. Okay. Email with a let's say we don't need attachments now. For example, how a HTML email should be. So here, how we'll do was we'll prepare a HTML body. HTML body means how we'll prepare that. Let's take some string value only. I would say it as a HTML body. I would say something will be having bold values saying hi Sam. Let's say I have some something like this. I have some text. So I'd like to add some color so it really looks Mm, 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 mm. Okay, just I was changing something to make it let's say HTML or not. Okay, now I was converting it into this HTML file. So let me see. Okay, now okay, so I have something called HTML now. Now I'm going to use this as HTML body over here. So once my HTML body is ready, dot set HTML body. I'm going to set this HTML body. Just comment in this out text email. Okay, there's some errors. Okay, it's the same method. Send HTML email. I'm going to send this one. Outbound emails. Executor. Okay, let me check the email, how it looks now. Look, see how it looks now. It's not a plain HTML. It is having some different content. Okay, any questions so far? So yes, what I use here was just I was generating the HTML body by using this word to HTML. Just you can prepare how you want it and you can convert to HTML and then you can use that in your email body. Okay, now next.
Balu,
Yeah,
if you want to attach any picture or a PDF document, how?
yeah, I'm going to explain that. So let's say other than text attachments, we have some other different files I want to add. Let's say you have one Visual Force page and you want to that Visual Force page as a PDF file. Then how can we going to add it? Okay, let's take an example over here. Concept is very similar. Email with VF page as PDF attachment. The first thing we have to know, if you want some PDF file, how we can VF page PDF attachment. Now, how we can render a Visual Force page as a PDF? First of all, we'll open some Visual Force pages and see where we having some content. Um, so we have some content over here, right? So I would like to add this as an PDF attachment. How I can do that? So here, what I will do is, I will create one new visual force page and say vis- visual force page as PDF. That's what I was trying to do here. Everything will be exactly same as how we'll be having. The only difference here will be uh, rendered as, here we'll have a option called a PDF. So when we are doing render as PDF, when you do a preview, it will not look like a page. It will look like a PDF, a document, something like this. Okay, so now I'm going to first of all create a visual force page, render as a PDF. Then, then how I'm going to add this as my email attachment, how I can do that. So you remember what is the name of this page? Visual force page as PDF. So I have all this content, HTML body, attachment. Okay, so here instead of this one, HTML body versus EFA. So everything will be same. So having a email file attachment. So in this attachment, we have to set the file name, and then attaching a body will be different. Set body. This going to be a, instead of text body, we are going to have a visual force page. Then how we are going to render that instead of this two lines. So first of all, we will be having a page reference PDF page equal to page dot visual visual force page as PDF. So we have this one page of page ready, and then um, blob PDF body equal to get content something. Yeah, this one, get content as a PDF. It will be our blob body, and then here it's going to be a PDF body here. So we'll be having a page reference, and then this page we're going to have it as a content as PDF, and this one I will say um, my VF page as PDF. So dot PDF. That's it. And I'm going to change the subject and all. Um, subject. This is a HTML outbound email message example with the PDF attachment. Any questions over here? So everything is same. The to address, EC address, BCC address, and a display name, subject, and the body. Everything will be same. Only you're going to have a difference in setting a email file attachment. So if you want to add any number of attachments to it, you can have a email file attachment file you need to generate, and then you need to add that as a attachments over here. So once you have this file, then you need to set the name and body of this files. So here I have a name set, and then the body I'm going to set. So how I'm going to get that body? So you're going to get that visual force page, and then you're going to get this content as PDF, and then you're adding it as a body of this email file attachment, and then at the end you're going to add these attachments to the email itself. So once you ready with all attachments, finally you need to add to the email only, and then you're going to send the email. That's it. Okay, let's try this out. Open anonymous, and I'm not sure whether we have a limits present or not, but let's check. So we have only 10 emails that we can send out from a developer edition. Okay, I have. Okay, now I have one, and I have some VF page or PDF attachment. So this is how you will getting a PDF attachment. Okay, any questions here we have? And now we have one more example. So any kind of body, all thing you have to do in the here was you have to prepare a email file attachment, and you'll be having a and a body that you having name and body that you're going to set, this content type and this extension, that's what you're going to use to decide what type of attachment that you're having. So in the visual force page, we can render as a different files as well, like a PDF or Excel. Also we have options. Not only the render as, we have some other tags also need to be set. We're displaying it as Word or Excel formats. So that we'll discuss again. So again, going back to this email part, page as a PDF attachment. Now, so the next one is sending out the email using a email template. So here, what we're trying to do, once we have to address, CC address and all, we are setting a subject body or plain text body, HTML body and all, right? So if we don't want this to be like from a code and email, template. So I have some, can you guys hear me?
Yes, Bala.
So I have some email templates. So the email templates, instead of setting all those, I would like to take care of the content, everything in a email template. And just I want to like control only the to address or CC address part only. So all everything I want to control over here. So tomorrow if I have any changes also, I will change in the email template itself. So then how we can do that? So let's take some example of new email template. So I'm without having classic header, just I was creating some HTML template. My template email template for Apex example. Okay, it's going to be my API name. Email template. I'm going to use in Apex subject. Email example. What the email template? Outbound email example with email template. Next. Subject. Just keeping my email API name, and over here, I like to add let's check value points, alignments, typos, grammar, ratings, alteration. Okay, I have this HTML template. First, I'm going to use this one. So next, the text. Okay, so the text version would be. Now do a save. So I have my email template ready. So sorry, I not selected available for use. It will not be available otherwise. Okay, now my email template is ready. Now there are two ways. So I need this email template ID that need to be used for my sending out an email. So how I can send? The first thing was I need to query the ID of that email template. How I can query? So email template object, the email template object, I'm going to use where developer name equal to, I'm going to use here. So I have one. So I'm going to use this in my here. So I was removing all this attachment parts, so it will not confuse us. Set HTML sender name, oh, it's not required. So I'd like to email template equal to, I'm going to use query. So here I'm going to use limit 1. Okay, I have a email template. Now I'm going to set if I have this one which is not equal to null and dot id not equal to null, then I'm going to do all this. So before doing this, so I got this email template, and now to this email, I'm going to set the email template ID. That is set email template ID. Set, oh, not set template ID. Set template ID. So if I set this one, this will take care of my all subject and body, text body, HTML body, everything will be taken care by this template itself. So if you look at the code, so what I'm trying to do here, I just generated an email. I just set the to address. That's it. And then I was trying to get my email template. And if my email template is not null and I have ID to it, then I'm going to set email template ID. And then I'm sending an email. That's it. Nothing else I'm doing here. Let's look at how the email is going to be. Oh, this is going to be, I'm going to use, and here, outbound emails, this one, execute highlighter, required fields, okay, target object ID. Okay, so we have something called a target object ID. So if when you're using a template, we can use a merge fields also. So then we need to like assign this target object ID so that if there's any merge fields that we're going to use on that object, it's going to be used. Okay, let me take some example of just duplicating this one. I'll explain what is the target object ID clearly. Mm, I have some account, let's say account equal to my account equal to select ID comma name from account where name like Wipro limit one my account, and here I'm going to email one dot set target object ID going to be a my account dot ID. That's it. So this target object ID is going to be used if I am having any kind of merge fields in my template. It's going to be used from this ID. So it has to be on a specific record. The email has to be. So any image field, then it will going to use that target object ID. Okay, right, then execute again. Uh, 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 um, okay, it has to be from a user lead or a contact. Okay, let's take some contacts. Mm, mm, okay, contact, contact. should have this email field has to be filled for this one. So So I'm not even setting the to address also. I was just commenting out why, because we have limit reached. So I was just commenting that out as well. We have hit the limit. That's right. Okay. First of all, I will explain what actually we have some IDs that need to be set while we are sending out outbound email messages. Okay. So there are something called a target object ID, and then one, and then was set what ID. This is one, and then we have a set who ID or what ID, yeah, target ID and the what ID. So what is these two IDs that we are going to set is, let's say, and we have something called um, set email as an activity. Set email. Do you see something called activity? Set as activity. Yeah, set save as activity. Set save as activity. Yes. So so in the developer, first thing, we have a limit of 10 emails that we can send daily. So already we reached 10 emails. That's why it's not allowing us. Tomorrow we can continue there. But before that, I'm going to explain some more points over here. Along with the template ID, we can use the target object ID, what ID, and save as activity. So this will be, it's going to be a true or false. Like when we having some contact, so we'll be having some activities over here, right? So the activity will be the email activities here. So when you do a send an email from here, how it looks, it will be exactly same as that, but we are doing it from Apex. When we're sending out emails and we want to save those emails as an activities to a records, then we make this as a set activity as a true. By default, it will be a false. But when we want to save this email as an activity to the record, then we have to set this email dot set as save as activity equal to a true. Now, coming back to what is a target object ID and a what ID. So when we are trying to send emails from the Apex, we can use the target object ID. This target object IDs could be a IDs from a IDs of user object, user or lead or a contact objects. That means a person's. There could be a person. So when we are trying to send emails to the a particular person, then we no need to mention to like emails. So these emails will be considered as a that email limits. But when we are trying to use as a target object ID, then it will be taken as a on object emails. So it will take the email from that object and send the email alert for you. So you no need to mention any of the email to it. I will just need to set the target object ID. Only allowed objects are a user, lead, and contact. Only these three objects will be allowed in a target object IDs. Okay. Then what is a what ID? What ID is going to be Let's say you have some merge fields. Merge field means like when we are using email templates, instead of this SAM, we're going to have like on specific record we are sending any email alert. We will pick up the name from this record and we'll send an email alert, right? So it's going to be a dynamic. So similarly, when you have some merge fields in your email template, in those cases, so when you send a email using that email template and you having some merge fields, then what record that is used to bind that merge fields by using a what ID we need to set for that ID. Okay, so here I was trying to do a true value over here, and then instead of target object ID, I'm going to use my user, that is a user info dot get record ID something, get ID. That's it. Let's try it will work or not. So this is a user record ID, and we're trying to set parameters into must be false when sending email to our users. Okay, false. Not available sending email to a user IDs. Email ID field what ID is not available. Okay, we'll explain this one. Mail exception fail. First row invalid ID field what ID is not available. Hmm, I already saved it or not saved? Yeah, not saved. Okay, okay, email has been sent, and let's check the email. So I have email sent, but I don't have any set displayer name and all, and even I not set any to address or CC address anything, and the email content also same as my email template only. Let's so here I was using the SAM, right? But I cannot use set as activity and what ID. So tomorrow what we'll do was we will try to give this set target object ID